friends to be able to, you know, to play in your local qualifier. And sure, he played well yesterday, but this is going to be a very big test. Probably the biggest that we've seen a Batman play in, because, you know, historically a Batman hasn't really gotten to this big of a stage in his career before. For him to step up like this and to play up against teams like ONIC, that's going to be a very big challenge indeed.
Oh, for sure, for sure. All right, already APH, they love to take this mid control already, forcing the hand of ONIC to at least respect that. Alarm bot was already destroyed and very earlier on, so this does give them a bit of breathing space to move where they want to, especially on that mid to short control. As the door gets closed, they are just playing this very far back, and this is APH's really loving play style, especially on the pistol with Georgie at the helm. When he still has that dash, he will overextend and try to go look for that pick.
Like how far they've gotten Georgie. This is something that we've seen in the local PH, you know, broadcast, where they'd sneak a Georgie all the way up here just for him to cut off rotations and then make that quick hit towards A. Once they gather their forces right around A main, it's gonna be the flash coming through for them, but no need because a Batman just runs them over. Great paranoia though, because Slasher's able to get one, but awkward enough, Batman trades him out. Here's the footstep. Georgie is in position to cut off one. He's going to see the other. And he knows he has the information onto where two of them are. He gets the double kill. Great kills on the lurk here. And Severin, the only one left standing. Georgie's not going to get him. Still brought to a 1v2. Very much possible for Severin right here. One shoulder. Great tap, but an even better response from Eman. It was dangerous for a second, but the double peek there from Action PH nets them the pistol.
Oh yeah, Georgie came in swinging into this pistol. You know, sometimes, again, I mentioned that Action PH are a team that tends to be flip side of the coin. I love that recon dart just on the body of NC Slasher, so you know that he's not going to be able to hide away from it. But yeah, going back to Georgie, really good stuff at the start of this round. We'll see how that goes as they move forward, because ONIC, they tend to, I feel like, start slightly slow. It's the gun rounds that you got to be afraid when this team gets that.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's take a look at how they're going to structure this eco round now. ONIC, they're going to gamble a couple of players, 3 players to be specific here towards that B side. Sirdetio, he was tagged up, so it's a little bit dangerous. He could get wallbanged by that sheriff. Fortunately for him, he survives a little bit longer as they now begin to clear logs. Georgie will be playing up close just to make sure nobody pushes up in the smoke, and should be a fairly straight execute. You'll see that Sage boosting up on above, plus the dash in. And it's a couple of kills here for ONIC. They actually managed to make it very expensive this early on. They finally close that door there and mark it, and they have to find their way towards that backside because there's still players playing up in there. And the Batman finds both of them, so that's 3 kills for a Batman right now. Definitely stepping up when his team would like to avoid any more losses, and Georgie swing out. Claim that final kill. We'll give Action PH a fairly clean Ensa eco.
Yeah, I gotta give it to ONIC though. Oh, what was that, like 3 shorty buys, and they get value off of a couple of kills plus shield down. Look at that, that's pretty nasty, honestly. Batman picks up a nice little double piece at the back of the site with the plan as well, so that's gonna amp up his lockdown. I'm gonna want to see if it's active already. Yes, it is. That's gonna be huge, especially on this bonus round, where they will want to clear out the site without even having contact.
Absolutely. Well, talking about contact, it's already quick push here towards B main to secure it early on. They're going to deploy that lockdown without any hesitation. The problem with this is they haven't burned in much utility from the other side. Shock Dart will actually be enough to destroy that lockdown, so really well played. PH might have, I'd say, jumped the gun a little bit on this one, but if they can get in, if they can find Elmi Moore, no, cannot. Will be denied by the Guardian in his hands. Shira will back him up. Shock Darts do come in. Eman's already on site, and they actually have control of it. Severin is able to clean up the rest, though. Players lurking in the back now, 2v4. Eman puts up the wall, save himself a little bit longer, but not for too long, as Aryu's the only one left. He's absolutely screwed here. I don't see any way where he wins this, not even get a single one. As Slasher takes him out, and ONIC find a first win on their bye.
Wow, that's a modified shock dart, isn't it? That should actually hit the one lockdown at the bottom, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe it is just the default. But really good lineup played there from ONIC. I don't think APH was expecting the counter to the lockdown so earlier on that they were just like, yeah, we don't have any more control. We're going to have to flush out the site as quickly as we can. But because Severin was still playing in there. He had all of the flashes that he needed to make it very, very risky for APH, and the contact is not working, especially when Georgie was immediately dealt with as he was trying to push through B stairs there. That being said, now ONIC, they do have themselves the win. Not the best of buys, and this is APH's first gun round, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's a fairly good, you know, it's a fairly good buy from them. They were able to make things quite expensive for ONIC earlier. Forces a couple of Spectres on the side of ONIC, so we'll see if that comes into play. A little bit more useful on small maps like Ascent, though, so might not be 100% too much to worry about if they choose their angles correctly. But with mid control like this here from the Action PH side, they're going to be trying to get a little bit closer to that short area. They might not expect right around the bend here. They do have Moniette, who's just waiting on this off angle. And if a Batman goes in here alone, he might just be taken down without a trade.
Well, he does have Emma just about to go for the swing, but because Moniette is that jet, he can hold the angle here, dash away, and
yeah, free kill.
Yeah, exactly. Away with Bloody Murder, with that Cloudburst also setting up the one-way smoke for a couple of seconds. This will dissuade APH for a moment. They might have to swing all the way around to go for that A-short push.
30 seconds
but Severin with the one-way smokes as that Omen makes it incredibly difficult. It's just going to be awkward for APH to push anywhere because all the utility usage from ONIC is just on point in this round.
Yeah, and the fact that they still hold on to A main means that they can keep their two players here in B site.
15.
The two defending players there. So, 13 seconds left. They got to make haste right now, and if there's anyone that can slow them down, man, it's very possible. 8 seconds left. They haven't gotten onto site. They're basically dead in the water here. They hadn't even planted the spike. And this indecision from Action PH, they shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah.
What an anticlimactic way to end the round there, Asarai.
Well, they do save... Oh, I thought we were going to save like with 4 people, but somehow in transition, they only save up until 3, but that's good enough, I guess. They'll have weapons to use into this round. Georgie does have his blades. He can probably drop his Vandal for somebody else, but yeah, absolutely that. They just did not know what they had to do. The indecision of APH was ultimately what led them to fail at that point. They were kind of expecting as well, probably, that ONIC could have over-rotated, but that was not really the case, as you can see in the minimap a while ago.
Especially not when their Moniette just picks up that kill towards A main and he still holds it. They're gonna be able to hold strong unless they flush that jet out, unless they force him back into the site. Action PH, they can't go for those executes like that. Now they're forced onto a lesser buy once again. They're gonna be trying to make their way towards B. Blade Storm is gonna probably trying to be updrafting on above. And he just gets denied.
Yeah, without proper like control outside of B main, Georgie was the only target that ONIC really had to worry about as he went for that updraft. A little bit too greedy for him, maybe wanting to over push himself, but that was going to be the failed attempt, as it were. Emon can pick up the orb if he wants to and bring back Georgie to life, but he's already used the blade, so maybe they can just use him as a battering ram if ever.
Use that.
They still do have 45 seconds, so I mean, an extra body is an extra body.
Exactly, the numbers is what matters here. But again, they're running it down a little bit low. They have done good damage onto Moniette. This is what they didn't do last round. They didn't force him back. And now there's still a crossfire here towards A.
30 seconds
the rotation
left.
now beginning to come in here. But a Batman with a flick to the left and Zero Deathio with a headshot wallbang. This is prime Philippine gaming. When you just lose the strats, but you win the headshots. That's exactly what the Philippines will bring to the table. And I'm not even ashamed to say it right now. They had no right to win that crossfire. I'll be honest with you. There was no way.
Yeah, Batman's pretty nutty. Like, he doesn't go for agents that allow him to always shine, but he does have incredible reaction time. Exactly, right? That was so awkward, but...
That was ridiculous.
Yeah. And you mentioned this earlier, right? This is how APH loves to do it. They're all about that contact play, and they're bringing their A game slowly but surely into this round, or into this game.
Yeah, which is why it's such a struggle for them on maps like Ascent, where you have to be so fundamentally sound, where you have to be so tactically, well, not gifted, but just tactically flawless if you want to win up against really, really good teams. Now, Action PH, you can get away with this kind of playstyle on maps like Icebox, you know, where they shine, on like Haven. But when you go into maps like Behind an Ascent, it's a little bit more difficult to do that kind of stuff.
Isn't Mirror's ONIC just a team that loves to use shotguns at close range? Like, their reaction time is so on point, right? The
Yesterday on Bind, right? They had like the judge, so
yeah, scary because like they have incredibly fast reaction time, so it's very difficult to kind of deal against that. Monyet playing with fire, just staring down about 3 players of APH and still gets away with a pretty healthy demeanor as George charges up onto mid. Now knows that at least the dash from Monyet is down, so this allows them a lot more coverage, a lot more aggression as they push in onto the B site.
Ooh, Severin comes up from the sneaky flank right there. He's gonna have to deal with quite a bit. Georgie, where was everyone else? He was asking. Finally, Eman comes and backs him up. They get that from the shadows onto the backside just to bolster that side a lot. Especially with that shotgun, he's going to be needing to go in there. Monyet gets a good trade in, but a Batman's ready. And a Batman really lighting up the server today. A lot of things coming into question for his performance. But he's proving everybody wrong right now with how strong of an entry he's been as the Sentinel.
Severin's got tagged down to 30, and honestly... Oh, maybe he was expecting Arya to be on top with a shotted step, but that's not going to work. And through that tiny gap, through the smoke, a Batman wins. I mean, he likes to play in the dark cover, you know. He's a Batman. He's Robert Pattinson.
He was born in the dark, molded by it. Oh, wait, that was Bane.
That was Bane.
Still a ref. Anyway. So, I want to go back to Batman. We've talked about him so much, but I feel like this is one of those instances where, you know, he's known, he's a very popular streamer, he has a really big following, this guy. A lot of questions coming to him when he shifted into Alpha Esports, that he was maybe not performing so well with the rest of the team. Lo and behold, he comes here to APAC Challengers. Now he's in Action PH, and he's actually shining along with the rest of the members. Georgie, Eman, those are hard names to keep up with, but a Batman is certainly more than holding his own.
Oh yeah, and what's good about this guy is he's a chill vibe sort of dude, so if you put him in a team that's very wily, he tends to kind of pull everybody back in a good way.
Yeah.
And you know that Action PH is all about that wiliness, right? So I think the mix is working pretty well here. It might be, I don't want to cast our curses, but like it feels like a honeymoon phase with how the synergy is working right now for Akshan PH.
Oh, you're absolutely right. It could be. It's very early on. They've just lost Modeski. Well, let's see if he can keep the ball rolling here as the lockdown comes in towards A. Hunter's Fury will certainly deny it. Don't imagine there's any way they're going to be stopping it. Will they continue on with a push? Looking like a yes. Very dangerously. And oh my god, he actually gets a tag on a Batman's leg, I think. But NC Slasher will hold the line. And the crossfire is just impossible to break down. As NC Slasher from the generator will be able to mow down 3. It's all up to Georgie with that operator. In a 1v3, and I think he might do well to just save.
Well, they might actually have money, so I don't think... you know, Georgie, he's never going to save this. He's just going to try to fight it with 14 seconds on the clock. That was so awkward. Like, just a few left. Utility usage from Monyet was enough to actually screw over the play of APH alongside Severin's Blade, which really hurt their case there. I do like the wall boost from Emon to help things out, but it was only Georgie that was actually boosted on top, so they still really had no vision onto the side itself, which made it leagues more awkward.
Think for a moment for both teams how they're gonna approach this upcoming one. I'd like to see a little bit more of a, I don't know. It really seems like the playbook of Action PH is fairly straightforward here. They like to push Georgie all the way up towards top mid and then see what they can do, you know. I feel like this is something that will work for a few rounds, and it has. I just don't see it working for the rest of the game, because their executes have just looked so flat here on this Ascent map. And Action PH are known to be a team who has really good executes no matter what map, but here in Ascent it's just looking so lackluster.
Especially with Georgie not having the blades up with his operator. You know that he usually loves to use the op on attack when he does have those blade storms, because it allows for much close contact with him. And I've never seen him actually use a shorty like other Jet players out there, notably like Korean Soldom. Anyways, Now they are still going to go for the hit here, but Georgie, as I mentioned, he wants to take that slower pace because he doesn't have that explosiveness anymore with the blades. They're going to use the numbers to overrun the back of the site, but they're not going to spot out anybody.
30 seconds
Georgie left on an island here with the operator. This could be good. One shot, one kill is all he needs. But ONIC playing this the slow pace. Severin on the contact first. Georgie answers.
Well, easiest kill of his life. Sees the shoulder, has time to think about the shot. Is able to kill another, pick up another one, but he'll be surrounded in just a second. And because of the fact that he used his tailwind way too early without any, presence, he couldn't get away from that situation. Elmi Moore with a great tap. He finds RU. Eman coming in as well. He gets one. That's a Batman to find another. Up onto the site. Eman holds firm. Still 2v3. As NC Slasher finds a Batman. That's the B main player gone. 2 players on site left. And NC Slasher and Shiro work hand in hand. And that post plant was just abysmal from Action PH.
This is going to be close. So close, but I think they're still going to have time. 0.01, 0.04 for ONIC. Oh my goodness, not possible. I thought Georgie bought enough time for the rest of his teammates, but they still botched the post line onto the site. I mean, they used a lot of utility for Georgie there, but they still lost in the end. Look how they just isolate the rest, and Slasher as well as Shiro make quick work to, again, defuse that spike.
Yeah, just not a good post plant if you ask me. They were so separated, were so isolated. A lot of it had to do with Georgie being unable to escape. He was left all alone with that operator. And yeah, while it's good to get an early pick, you stay too long, they're gonna find you. And without the tailwind on that jet, well, there's not really much you can do at that point. So
yeah, fish out of water, you know. Georgie lost
without
his,
a tailwind
his fins.
is like a fish without
fins.
Water.
Oh, okay.
Or fins, yeah.
Fins, yeah.
Like that swordfish.
Exactly. Well, let's see if these sword fins can start piercing onto the B site once again. Georgie not actually going through mid anymore. It's just a full-blown B site take.
Good entry.
Look at that lineup or pre-fire angle he has. Great enough. But Severin actually wants to take the fight here. Very ballsy, but it actually works as Shiro comes alongside outside of the switch there. And look at how out of position the rest of APH are. They don't even know where to look at. Emon's going to have to revive Georgie, but Georgie's just not in a good spot. He will get taken down, and that's about that. ONIC disrupts the attack.
That was so messy. That was such a messy attack. Georgie gets a great entry, but you see the moment that ONIC come in, they start with a retake. They make their retake a little off timing. They don't even wait for the spike plant to go down. They want to catch Action PH off guard. And lo and behold, Action PH, they get completely caught off. Ammon was mid-res. Spike just barely went down. You know, the timing on that was perfect. ONIC preemptively going for that retake allowed them, just Action PH. You know, just Action PH, they were kind of like, what's going on? They were discombobulated for that entire retake.
Yeah. Basically that one scene where Robert Downey's Sherlock Holmes was, you know, figuring out how to beat down the bad guy. Literally was that, you know, Severin's just like, I'm gonna make this happen by discombobulating, as you mentioned, the offense. And the timing was so good. The utility for KO, we usually like to set up with it, but it's actually pretty disruptive if you can time out the peaks, and boy did he.
Yeah, they didn't even wait. And, you know, plays like that, oh, if you had maybe a better gun. But NC Slasher and Severin going to be able to get the picks that they do need to bring this into a 2v5. This round pretty much done and dusted here. I don't imagine Action PH get anything more.
They're going to spot out so much more than this. Emon, well, he's gotten the one pick, but we're left to a Batman. Batman can make good with this weapon of his, but Severin is severing the momentum here of the Action PH roster. Well enough.
And Action PH are a team that, you know, are known to be quite good on the attacking side. Known for their prowess when it comes to entering and basically winning their duels. This time, it's just looking a little bit flat, especially up against a very disciplined team in the form of ONIC. And ONIC, you know, they're showing that teams in Southeast Asia, we're not just teams that, you know, like to go ham in the Kimbo and into sites. but also teams that can slow down the pace and play smart when they have to. And right now, I think they're outwitting Action PH time and time again. With a great shot like that from Monyet onto Georgie, it's gonna and no res available early 4v5.
No way Georgie doesn't expect that, you know, the operator was going to be at least 1/3 possibility to actually be on mid and just straight up slow peeks it.
Yeah, he slow peeks it like, I don't know about that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. That was awkward.
You should run.
But this will force the hand of APH. They're going to have to make some waves here, and good utility usage should be able to allow them to get into the site. I'm looking now if maybe there's an anti-anything. They do have Severance Null Command, which they actually use already. And this could disrupt the plan on the spike. Look at how APH are kind of just bunkering down towards Garage,
Spike
or
planted.
excuse me, Jenny there. But Zerodethio actually ignites the start with the kill on Severin.
And SC Slasher going for that res gets a little bit punished, I think. Action PH, this is what we're talking about when we're talking about their executes, and it's looking like they can hold it easily. Now, that was one of the cleanest executes, no matter not. Sure, they were given the site by ONIC, and ONIC were hoping to maybe, you know, just play for that retake. It was a little bit of a mistiming. It came down to Severin getting picked off, and then NC Slasher getting a little bit too close over there indoors. But in the end, man, it's all about Action PH hitting their shots and getting those sites. Because once they do get into those sites, it's a very, very dangerous predicament.
I actually thought that side take was a little bit risky, and I think APH also knew that, so they wanted to just chase down where Severin was. Since I believe you can pinpoint where the KO is if you're near enough, you can see the point of origin of his pulses. So that's why they just started chasing him down towards the switch, towards door. Anyways, again, APH on the default to the B site. This time, they're gonna put a wall on that spawn point. We'll see if a Batman can actually go for the pinch. Good enough. Eldermore at the back of the site using the Cloud Burst to
what a flick again
of safety. And yeah, indeed, the flick will give them the site itself, 3 versus 2.
Spike planted.
He had a pixel through the smoke and he lands it. A Batman is just so snappy, and you can tell he's been putting in the hours here, putting in the deathmatch.
Oh yeah,
absolutely phenomenal. But whether they can hold true on this retake or not, I do imagine. Well, they're obviously gonna have to go for it. It is the last round and a half.
Here.
No chances here.
Here.
I think he knows. I think Monyet has an inkling.
No.
But he misses the shot anyway.
Well,
I don't think they're going to be able to get this. The time is ticking too slow. They have an operator in their
Last
hands
player
up until
standing.
NC Slasher brings it back. What the hell? Where did NC Slasher come up with that? And he denies both. Here are you, saving his team from what was almost a thrown round, if you ask me,
Switching
Asarai.
sides.
NC Slasher and Severin have been the splash brothers of this entire first half. I really wanted to see the perspective there of NC Slasher. It's just how he was able to get that double kill. That was incredibly nasty. But yeah, you were mentioning how a Batman, just a great secondary entry fragger. Well, that actually helped at least, because now Arya only had to deal with the 2. And since Monyet did not have anything other than just the shorty and the sniper, he was not really sure where Arya was going to peek out. And since NC Slasher was the one that was defusing, you know how that works. Yeah. Okay. Elu might not be with us right now. Maybe he's gone and watched the Robert Pattinson Batman. I don't know. I mean, we have our own Batman here, so I'll just watch right here. We're totally good, guys. A Batman has abs. I'm assuming. All right. We do have that 90-second in between the halves. So it's not a technical pause. It's not nothing. It's just that that breathing space in between so that these guys can start just kind of figuring out what they want to do come into this second pistol. Now, as ONIC flips the switch and they're going to be on the attacking side, KO's been a really, really big agent to actually utilize for a lot of the teams. I think we've spotted, who was it? At least for the PH region, we've seen Naos use it
coming back.
quite well.
Here. Placing alarm bot.
All right, now we're back into the ball game.
Bot coming back. Out of charges.
Severin.
Turret out.
Okay, I wonder if anybody's going to be playing on a Sheriff here. Not even George is actually going to be playing with the Sheriff. That's quite interesting. Georgie loves to play for the Sheriff right now, but he wants to have at least that extra bit of utility to face against opponents here. And honestly, Ghost, I think, is the better option. I'm not really the biggest fan of Sheriff on pistols, but that's because I have terrible aim. Anyways, closing the door here, trying to break it as quickly as they can so that the pinch will get stopped. Huge wall to come through that's going to get full HP. That's going to delay a lot of the ONIC style that they would want on A main, but they kind of figured out what was happening and immediately go straight onto the mid site. This might hit Zerodethio and a Batman off guard. The blade comes through, that deactivates everything, and Zerodethio's going to have to back away with the rest of his teammate at the back of the site as they waterfall in. This is not going to look too good for the side of APH here. A Batman still holding the back. He's got 8 bullets in the chamber, cannot reload, but maybe he can deal some damage. Maybe he can soften up as the rest of his teammates are coming right in. Shiro, oh, that is rather the unfortunate turn, isn't it? Georgie comes in with a bit of a flurry, and now they've separated Severin from his teammate. Immediately start charging right in, and Emma a bit too overzealous there. This leaves Georgie in a weird spot where Severin, just all he has to do is just come around little by bit. And now he's in a 1 versus 1. The blade comes through once again. No more dash for him, but he's got to have to try to at least have the spike now. There's no angle for Georgie here. He's got to have to at least commit to this to half. And Severin, all he has to do is jiggle out, and Georgie's done for. Oh, ONIC with the round. Beautiful stuff as they read the A stack of APH beautifully.
Yeah, he needed to get it to half. At least that's why he tried to stick it. And apologies, ladies and gents. Had a little bit of an issue with my tech, my gear. But we're back, and we're now at ONIC 7-6. ONIC now being ahead. I'd say
One enemy remaining.
It's still pretty scary if you're in ONIC's position here because, you know, the Action PH, they look fairly flat on their attack, if I'm being honest here. They had a lot of good rounds, sure. But for the most part, I don't like a lot of the early round executes that they brought to the table. Now that they're on the defensive side, I think this allows Action PH a little bit more time to breathe, a little bit more of a chance to play more passively, more reactively. And at the same time, if they want to throw in a couple of curveballs with the aggression, they can do that.
They can do that. Their contact play has been phenomenal. Now, Munyet gonna charge in the same way. Zerodethio does get off a Sheriff kill. They know that at least a Batman is onto the side, and look how quickly Munyet scrubs the back of things. George is gonna be charging right in at least to close the gap, but that's not gonna be effective. RU follows up, good for 1. But that's about that. APH lose their save round, but this is the time to shine. You got themselves to buy it.
A little bit of a time to breathe for a couple of these teams here, as we do finally have. I actually, you know what? We do have a great series on our hands here. I know the panel predicted mostly ONIC ONIC, not PH, ONIC Indonesia, obviously, and Action PH to just kind of get stomped. But Action PH are still holding their own. And in a map like Ascent, when, okay, that was a little bit scary. That trace. I can't believe Zerodethio's still alive here. Gets the information onto 1, lines up another one. Munyet finds a trade, but I think a little bit of an overstay here. With Zerodethio leaving Elmi Moore in a 1v3. Spike has yet to be recovered, doesn't matter. His RU will be able to close it down. The moment that Spike went down in that position towards Market, life started to get so much more difficult here for ONIC, but it's a good round anyway for ONIC as they were able to force a lot of rebuys from that PGH side.
Loving the position there from a Batman. If you think about it, they should always peek this angle where he was, but because the first entry, Munyet was technically clearing already with the dash, right? He was trying to look left and right and spotted nothing, technically nothing, as he pushed in. That gave a Batman a fraction of a second to make damage in. The crossfire with Zerodethio makes it even more valuable with the 2K. And with all that being said, just a really good position from the extra player. Now, the new addition to the APH roster.
Which is why a lot of the time you'll see a lot, some Jets and some teams sort of stagger the entry. The moment that the tailwind and the cloudburst comes in, they wait like an extra second just to bait out some fire and make the defender who's holding the close angle or sort of swing towards where, instead of holding that closest corner, sort of swing to where that jet tail went into. This time it wasn't the case though, but it's again towards B that they will try. Now Monyet taking a little bit of damage, quite a lot actually, and Zero Deathio finds a double. Now it's Slasher will finally trade him out though, but through the smoke, they're just gonna spam him and spray him down. Aryu are just finding the kills when they need, and it's a war through the smoke. Now they've managed to get in. It's 2 players towards the back of that side, and the retake there is just all the time in the world for the retake. They can play as patiently as they need to. Great flash, but now it's a 1v1. It's gonna be a good teleport in, might force him to hesitate, but no, Shiro's ready for it.
Shiro's just lighting things up. Man, I like the answer from APH there. You saw Batman actually play incredibly far back on B so that his utility would still be active. He left Zero Deathio to just hold, you know, with his gun, which actually is a pretty effective thing that did disrupt the attackers from coming in, but not enough that this would have been the clutch. As you mentioned, Shiro, excuse me, just showing how he knows to play against the Omen playstyle. If you hear the TP, you can start moving up because that is, what, a precious couple of seconds that you can actually outmaneuver his positioning. Yeah. But yeah, this didn't work. Ooh, okay, good shot.
It's a good pick. Still instantly traded, but they still don't have control over A main, and that's gonna give Action PH a little bit more of a chance here to collect themselves once more and try to find a different position, get a better read. But the reset of the round is exactly what ONIC wants. They want to reset the information, try to put Action PH at a little bit of a guessing game, a little bit of a disadvantage there. But instead, Action PH, excuse me, they're going to be sticking to 2-2. They're going to split up their forces, 2 on each site, just to be able to bury whoever they need to onto those sites.
They already know who's on B. It's Zero Deathio as well as a Batman, both who actually have their ultimates up, so ONIC do not want to touch that hot potato. They immediately are going to go for the A site, but the read for APH is actually pretty delayed. Now it's only going to be Aryu to deal with the rest of the onslaught here, but he's been pushed way far back onto Hell, and now they know where he is. Clean site take for ONIC, and the plant will follow right after, and this is going to be APH on the retake once again. Amon, try to be a bit cheeky. Let's see if he can make some value off of this peak.
Yeah, he actually gets a pick, and that's a great one to get, but Severin is able to bring it back. He gets a 3K right there. Shira is basically dead at this point. If he gets tagged by a strong wind, he might just keel over. The Hunter's Fury off. Oh, how does he find NC Slasher? Now this is doable. If he landed that headshot on Severin, there could have been a chance, but Zero Deathio so close. No cigar this time.
Can't light that cigar, can't take that cigar. Well, that cigar's been stolen away. 10-7. ONIC has already gotten double digits onto this one. Yeah, I like the play there from Amon. Zero Deathio also vibing for sure. And you mentioned it was very doable, but because of the fact that the Killjoy for ONIC was like 1 bullet to be taken down. But at least this was a prelude to this 18th round where APH, they've got a lot of utility, plus the operator back into the hands of Georgie. This could be their time to get something done, but as I mentioned, because of what ONIC have been doing, APH have been actually playing the passive game for the most part. Look at how far back and spread out they are. Very afraid of the ONIC skirmish that happens a lot in the start of the rounds.
Flashbang.
Flash comes out just to make sure nobody's pushing here towards A main. Just clear out that.
Yeah, I think Ilu is having some, you know, some issues of his own. It's okay. I got you, brother. I got you. I'll hold your hand. I'll lift you up like Jack does Rose. Okay. You're there. You're there.
You know, this is just life is, you know, we live online. Sometimes a couple of things just don't go the right way.
It's okay, man.
Yeah.
I was talking to the chat, you know, I was gonna do the Jack and Rose with you, you know.
Rose. I'd rather you be
30 seconds left.
I'd rather you go like Snake.
Here.
Snake.
Snake.
All right, I haven't played Metal Gear Solid, but at least I do know the reference.
For shame, for shame. But a side hit right there coming through from Aryu. Okay, can't get a single one. Eman pushing through the smoke. Finds a double. How is he allowed to do that? It's going to be 8 seconds left. They haven't even planted, and they won't be allowed to. Not a chance. As Action PH bite hard. Exactly when they need to. Not even letting them get the spike. Denied the 300 credits. They'll hang on to the operator as well. Action PH know how to respond to that push. And they're brought to 2 rounds away and leveling scoreline.
Holy processed avocado, but I mean guacamole, because coming into this round,
you're not wrong.
Yeah, they're gonna have 5 ultimates. They're gonna have 5 ultimates, Elu. They're gonna use the Wrath of God into one of these sites.
Okay, look, man, they're on eco round though, so
okay,
they might get Severin's ultimate though, and then do it next round. But it's not really. This isn't other game titles. This isn't Overwatch, so they're not gonna. They're gonna use these smartly. Okay, so let's be real here. But close range, Monyet finds one, but the judge prevails on 2. The 2 kills are already fairly expensive right now. There's Flash, Paranoia forces Eman back. Does have res if he needs it. They're gonna be going here towards mid. That's gonna be the res just to secure the round a little bit further. Deny the weaponry.
He actually missed the cross with the operator. Severin holding the very close angle here, and Georgie's just jumping around and hits him with the shorty. There it is. I was wondering when Georgie's gonna come through with the small shotgun. Now he does. NC Slasher inside the smoke can only prevail for as long as he can as the rest of the APH squad come in. And APH, they're licking the tie here. 1 more round before they go 10-10.
Yeah, no licking. That's right. Just close out this game. Action PH. They're not exactly doing the best either, because if you look at the scoreboard, you normally see Georgie and Eman at the very top right there. But the saving grace is that when a Batman, the newest member of your roster, like so new, he's very, very new. He's like, I don't know, not even a month into this roster. He's top fragging, he's playing well with the rest of the team. That's a very good sign for Action PH.
At least for Almy Moore's defense, he has been the player that always has to try to do the clutch 1v2s, 1v3s. So I think his efficacy to just be good at that is not as prevalent because he's using the Killjoy. It's always been the others, NC Slasher and Shiro or Severin, that can disrupt the attack. But that being said, Monyet very close onto the corner here, playing around Dice, and he tries to roll it, but APH, they got the better hand here, Elu. Now Severin coming through on short. Not a lot of teammates to work with. Flashes himself in. Now he knows Eman is at the corner here, and he actually works his magic through. Georgie now left into the 1 versus 1. This is still very winnable for the ONIC side. And Severin,
the flash!
Does it perfectly. That was so well timed, Elu.
And Georgie just gets a little bit antsy, just holds on a little. Doesn't hold on long enough, rather, as flash play comes out perfectly. I thought Eman had that. Eman had a great read. He already knew that the wall was coming down. He already knew that somebody could have been swinging him from that side. He even gets another one before he drops. So big props to Eman. Fortunately, Severin's that much better. Great flash.
I'll say this. His timing with the flash out of the KO is so on point. Like, I'll only just describe this once. When I do that, it takes a very long time for me. Like, I don't know the intricacies of the flash for KO, that when I peek out, it just barely flashes the opponent.
That's
and
because you're a dirty sky man.
Around. Exactly. But Severin does it so well that Georgie actually had to respect it and did not have that fraction of a second to react and actually win the duel.
Yeah, Georgie couldn't even get into cover. I think it's a
He
fair...
did push out, though. Like, he was expecting it, and maybe the ego peak kind of got him there.
I think he was afraid that somebody would come in from heaven, that he would have went for that wrap around, but instead it was... He still held tightly, but now B site this time as Georgie holds the line. 4v5. Almy Moore only on a Sheriff, but I say only on a Sheriff. Still is the pistol that has gotten more kills than a lot of players in entire tournaments. Batman follows up, and here comes the retake. little bit early, but it doesn't matter to them. Georgie lines up another one yet. Will be able to trade one, but Georgie fully blind does not care. And it's a clean retake and fresh upgrades for everybody. RU is going to be able to pick up a... Oh god, Batman as well.
Was the Valorant Vandals champion a foreshadowing of how strong Brimstone was going to become?
You know what? Yes, but I still haven't seen Brimstone play that much this tournament.
True.
Did you know
Anyways,
that the Brimstone Stim Beacon actually affects Yoru's Gatecrasher?
Gatecrasher or Dimensional Drift?
Gatecrasher. And, oh wait.
Really?
Sorry,
Dimensional
no,
Drift is the
Dimensional
ultimate.
Drift. No,
That is
Gatecrasher,
crazy.
Gatecrasher.
Gatecrasher, alright.
Gatecrasher
So that's the orb that he
orb.
uses to teleport.
Yes,
Okay.
so that travels faster when it's under Stim Beacon by like 15%.
What?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Fun fact.
It's not a fun fact, that's a disgusting fact because...
Well, it's not,
Just lets you
it's not honestly
creep
that
up
big of a
faster.
difference, and like, it's very situational. I wouldn't ever like make a composition just to do that, you know. It's not
Oh,
like
yeah,
it's
for
a,
sure.
it's not like it's a MOBA where you stack skills and whatever. But
Maybe it's a cheese strat though. It could work.
we'll see. As
Hey man, we like our cheeses.
we do love cheese, but definitely not a cheese strat. As Georgie, they hold this crossfire alongside this B site. Georgie wants the action, man, so he's just gonna come try to fight for it. Look at how bloodthirsty he is. He goes in the middle and calls for his team for backup. Georgie, he pays the price, but his teammates got him
One
covered.
enemy
Emma, how is he
remaining.
even
Oh.
alive? What the hell? He finds another one with a tap as well. Just very clean from Emma today. I'm very impressed with how Emma is playing.
Yeah, he's so consistent right now. That last encounter feels like a dance with the devil with him coming out on top. Ha-cha-cha.
Ha-cha-cha-cha. Where is that from again? Is that the
I don't know.
mask?
Look at that. Look at that. He's dancing with the devil. That's
One
Separate
enemy
who
remaining.
has top frag for the best part of these rounds for ONIC.
He's 24
right?
and
So-
15.
Exactly.
The only player near, well, a Batman's at 23 and 15, so just put it in perspective here how the support players are really stepping up. Yet again, ONIC, they're going for B, and it does certainly feel like they're banging their head up against the wall, but this time, will they be able to get through it? Looking like it's not going to be a hard yes as a Batman. I like the idea to deploy that lockdown, but it doesn't really work out for them. This one is for match point, so this round counts for a lot. Fortunately, if Action PH do lose this, they still have another full buy ready for them. But they would certainly like to avoid going to overtime.
If Emman can get a kill, he can actually get a res on their side because that's where Zero Deathio actually drops down. And the question now lies, can they actually spot out first the one hiding inside B main? They do! Georgie's back up the full. This is going to be the fight right now. And they still have time to actually play this a tad bit slower. Ari's going to have to back away as it does get tagged by the utility of the Sova there, but time is not up yet since the flash actually hits Emon, so this actually disintegrates the synergy of the rest of APH. But Emon, he's so what? He actually picks up the 4 freaking K. Does he have the time? No, he does not. Oh, this is just terrible. They do get the kills, but they don't get the round in the end.
Well, it's not the worst thing in the world, because if you look at the money for ONIC right now, it's in the gutter. They're going to be able to... it's going to be a really shoddy buy for ONIC PH. Active PH in the meantime, like I said, they had another full buy. And Georgie with those Blade Storms will probably be able to drop something for his team. So this could very well go to overtime right now. Asteroid in game number 1. And again, we were talking about Eman, dude. He is just phenomenal here today. He's 25 and 15. He's overtaken both Severin and the Batman.
He's done a lot, and even as you mentioned, even if they did lose that last round, they've done enough that the economy is going to be a bit shattered here. But I mean, with ONIC playing very close quarters, this might not be too much of a difficulty for them. A Batman, again, anchoring at the back of the site, no more lockdown whatsoever. He's going to have to make this happen as Georgie comes in from the side, trying to at least picture a pinch in with his teammate. Not going to work out in the end, and it's all left to Ryu. He's a solid player, but this might be too overwhelming for him to handle as Elmi Moore. Oh my gosh, even the null command. Ryu's just spotted. He's going to be gutted, and he's even tagged. He's going to have to run away, and the time is of the essence. And again, the 4 versus 1 as the round continues.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much done and dusted. We move on to map number 2. I don't think He's got it in him. Not right now. Not with everybody knowing exactly where he even gets pinged again. But let's just hold our breath for a second here as no, Elmore finishes it off with Guardian.
Win.
And honestly, I think Action PH, they dropped the ball on that a little bit too